Life in Salem never. Friday, March 21st, looks to be no exception. A startling discovery at the bistro. Julie, a longtime resident who carries Salem's history in her heart, decides to stop by the bistro for a quick cup of coffee and a chat. She expects nothing more than a friendly conversation with the locals, but she quickly realizes something is amiss. Across the room, she spots Melinda, someone she's never quite trusted, casually sipping her drink. At first, the sight of Melinda isn't unusual. Everyone in Salem knows each other's face, but then Julie notices a necklace dangling around Melinda's neck. Julie's eyes widen as she instantly recognizes the design. It's the Horton necklace from the time capsule. This piece of jewelry has special significance to Julie, carrying memories of beloved family gatherings and the warmth of generations past. The necklace was reported stolen some time ago, turning it into a piece of local legend. With an undeniable sense of ownership and a flood of protective instincts, Julie marches right up to Melinda. She's determined to get to the bottom of why her grandmother's cherished piece is brazenly adorning Melinda's neckline. In an instant, everyone around them senses the tension. Doug Williams, a loving presence in Julie's life, is nearby, prepared to intervene if things get heated. JJ, another steadfast member of the Horton clan, is also close at hand. The question on everyone's mind is how Melinda ended up with such a personal and very much missing heirloom. Could there be more to the seemingly casual flaunting of stolen property? Or does Melinda have a valid explanation that might quiet the thunderstorm of accusations brewing in Julie's eyes? Holly offers a shoulder and more? Meanwhile, Holly finds herself in an emotional moment with Tate. Tate has had a rough go of things lately. Life in Salem can be taxing for even the strongest souls. Sensing the heaviness in his heart, Holly reaches out to comfort him. Her gentle nature and deep empathy make her a welcome friend to anyone in pain. However, in typical Salem fashion, comfort between two people can quickly evolve into something deeper. In a world where relationships can form in the blink of an eye and just as quickly turn tumultuous, the question is whether Holly and Tate will discover a spark. Perhaps their bond is purely platonic, blossoming into a supportive friendship. But seasoned Salem watchers know how easily an act of kindness can lead to profound changes for both parties involved. Rachel Blake's brewing battle with EJ elsewhere in town. Another conflict is simmering and threatening to explode. Rachel Blake, known for her determination and strong personality, is headed for a fierce showdown with EJ. Tensions have been mounting for some time, and rumors swirl that a certain syringe may come into play, adding a layer of danger and intrigue to the entire situation. What makes Rachel so pivotal at this moment? She holds critical information that could destroy EJ's life if she decides to share it. Apparently, if Rachel chooses to expose the details about a past incident, particularly something involving Rafe, EJ could find himself in dire legal trouble. The stakes couldn't be higher for both of them. While EJ may be able to handle underhanded tactics, it's unclear whether he can effectively outmaneuver Rachel when she is this motivated. Rafe's memory struggles and Jada's future. Rafe, meanwhile, remains uncertain about large portions of his past, as his memory hasn't fully returned following a recent trauma. Because of these gaps, EJ is relatively calm about any threat Rafe might pose, at least for now. If Rafe can't remember crucial pieces of information, he's less of a liability to those who want to keep the truth hidden. At the same time, Rafe and Jada find themselves at a crossroads in their relationship. They are both eager to reclaim a sense of normalcy and put the chaos of the past behind them. Before they can truly move forward, though, they want closure regarding EJ. The lingering question of whether EJ might once again complicate their plans weighs heavily on them, so they've resolved to settle this once and for all. For Jada, there's an additional complication. She's haunted by memories of a night spent with Sean Brady, an event that continues to cast a long shadow over her sense of security. Jada hopes that making peace with her past and with any lingering guilt will enable her to move into the future with Rafe, unburdened by second-guessing and regret. A showdown of wills, EJ and Rachel. This day also marks EJ's continued attempts to mend fences and turn enemies into allies. Yet at every turn, he keeps running headlong into Rachel's stubborn determination. She refuses to be bought, lulled, or convinced that aligning with EJ is the best move. When they finally meet face to face, both are primed for a confrontation that could be explosive. Behind the scenes, there are more players, Kristen among them, who worry that Rachel's anger has become too volatile to be contained. Kristen realizes that if Rachel remains in Salem, both mother and daughter could face consequences that change their lives forever. With the authorities lurking and certain cold case files gaining traction, the risk that Child Protective Services could intervene is on everyone's mind. The question is whether Kristen or Rachel can find a solution that satisfies them both before outside forces take control of the situation entirely. Kristen's tough call. With so many threats looming, Kristen finds herself in an almost impossible position. She loves her family and would do anything to keep them safe, yet Salem is a place of unrelenting scrutiny. Gossip, investigations, and sudden revelations are all commonplace, making it difficult to keep secrets hidden for long. One option is to remove Rachel from the center of the conflict somehow, someway, and send her somewhere far from Salem's prying eyes. But can Kristen really stand the thought of distancing herself from a loved one, even if it's for the greater good? Rumors suggest that Kristen has her eye on Bayview, a facility more than capable of offering a place to heal, or to keep a person quietly tucked away, whichever might be more convenient for those seeking to avoid public drama. However, playing with someone else's future in such a drastic fashion is no small matter. If word gets out that Kristen orchestrated a permanent solution for her own mother, she could lose more than she bargained for, particularly her relationship with her daughter and her own standing in Salem. EJ's race against time. For EJ, time is a precious commodity that seems to be slipping away. More and more people are starting to turn against him. There are rumors that Belle is ready to show him the door, literally, and the possibility of a physical confrontation with Johnny looms over the horizon. A once quiet hostility is building, and Johnny is rumored to have already taken a swing or two at EJ. Adding to EJ's woes, legal troubles are brewing. If Rachel cooperates with the authorities regarding Rafe's situation, EJ could find himself in jail. On top of that, there's swirling talk that he might face even more severe danger. A stray bullet, a planned ambush, or something equally treacherous that could strike at any moment. To make matters worse, Sammy is expected back in town soon, and she never returns without stirring the pot. Once she arrives, she's likely to weigh in on all the looming conflicts. The unresolved tension between Johnny and EJ might be just the tip of the iceberg compared to what Sammy might bring to the table. Looking ahead, even as chaos reigns, love and hope still manage to flicker in Salem. Rafe and Jada's determination to move forward, for instance, suggests that in the midst of heartbreak, betrayal, and complicated loyalties, people can still strive toward a brighter future. Yet their optimism is tested by Jada's unresolved feelings over her night with Sean Brady and by Rafe's uncertain memories, both of which threaten to unravel their newly paved path if left unaddressed. Julie, meanwhile, stands firm at the center of her family's history, ready to fight tooth and nail for the treasured heirloom she believes Melinda has stolen. This storyline promises both emotional intensity and the possibility of deeper secrets coming to light. Why does Melinda have the necklace, and how does it tie into Salem's bigger picture? The stolen time capsule item might be the key to unlocking even more revelations that could rattle the community. Holly and Tate represent another glimmer of possibility. Their bond, whether it flourishes into romance or stands as a supportive friendship, underscores the idea that compassion can be found even in the toughest of circumstances. In a town where suspicion and betrayals are commonplace, simple acts of kindness become all the more striking. Meanwhile, Thursday, March 20th, brought a whirlwind of drama to Salem, where tempers flared, old wounds were reopened, and long-held secrets came to light. Relationships were tested, loyalties were questioned, and the fallout from past sins took center stage. A hostile housemate? Javi assured Leo that Gabby wouldn't object to his presence when she moved in with them. However, reality proved otherwise. Gabby made it abundantly clear that she did mind sharing a living space with someone she despised. Tensions ran high as the arrangement quickly proved to be as volatile as expected. Leo, as always, tried to smooth things over with his signature charm and wit, but Gabby was having none of it. With simmering resentment already brewing, it's only a matter of time before this living arrangement explodes into full-blown chaos. EJ, unforgiving and unrepentant elsewhere in Salem, EJ demonstrated once again that he is not the type to forgive and forget. While he desperately sought Johnny's forgiveness for his own misdeeds, he was unwilling to extend the same courtesy to Kate for exposing his dark past. Johnny, unable to contain his rage any longer, delivered a powerful punch straight to his father's face, a cathartic but ultimately painful moment. Yet, rather than retaliate, EJ took the hit. He didn't deny the horrific crime he committed against Sammy in the past. Instead, he simply explained his actions, claiming he wasn't justifying what he had done but rather providing context. He insisted that his connection with Sammy had always been profound, as if that somehow excused the trauma he inflicted upon her. Adding another chilling layer to the conversation, EJ lamented that Stefano had needed a DiMera heir to provide stem cells for his survival. The twisted justification only served to reinforce the depth of his moral depravity. Despite all of this, EJ still professed his love for Johnny. He insisted that he had no intention of hurting his son or interfering with Johnny and Chanel's plans to adopt Tate and Sophia's child. But Johnny wasn't buying it. With cold finality, he told EJ that it didn't matter anymore because EJ wouldn't have anything to do with him from now on. And just like that, EJ had lost his son. But rather than reflect on his own actions, he knew exactly who to blame: Kate. In his mind, it was her betrayal that had cost him his son, not the crimes he had committed or the pain he had caused. The irony was lost on him, of course, as he seethed with rage over her decision to tell Johnny the truth. Never mind that EJ himself had once threatened her son's life by violating Sammy. Rafe stands by Johnny. Johnny wasn't alone in his fury. Rafe, who had his own painful history with EJ, understood exactly where Johnny was coming from. EJ had orchestrated a horrific deception in the past, having an imposter assault Sammy while pretending to be Rafe. With that in mind, Rafe made sure Johnny knew he was supported. He reassured him that EJ was in the wrong, that Johnny was right to walk away, and that there was absolutely no excuse for the actions of the DiMera heir. In the end, Rafe's loyalty to his family was unwavering, and he vowed to stand by Johnny in the fallout of this revelation. Jada's theory on Rafe's kidnapping. Meanwhile, Jada was busy piecing together the latest mystery to grip Salem: the abduction of Rafe. This wasn't the first time he had found himself in danger, but Jada believed she had a lead on who was responsible for his most recent disappearance. Determined to get to the bottom of it, she shared her theory with Paulina, who wasted no time in throwing herself into the case. With these two formidable women working together, it's only a matter of time before the truth is uncovered. But will they find Rafe before it's too late? Final thoughts. Thursday's episode was nothing short of explosive. With shocking confrontations, long-awaited reckonings, and deepening mysteries, Salem was once again a town brimming with drama. As relationships hang in the balance and secrets continue to unravel, one thing is certain: this is just the beginning of another unforgettable chapter in Days of Our Lives.